Alright, hello guys. Today I'm gonna draw more cheddar balls into rush variants. Now, it's not exactly from cheddar balls, the designs. It's rather from FrontSides. A fan of his. 3 god dang rush variants from FrontSides, and he himself made, I remember, Stealth, Flash, Snot, Armageddon, 4. At this point, all of this, every single rush variant is going to be from FrontSides. Yeah, no, seriously. And Cheddar Balls is going to be like the the function, the person who makes the entity have a function of itself. So yeah, let's go. So I am currently drawing upside down rush because it is literally right here. I'm not really doing a great job at it though, even though I'm supposed to draw hard first. So hell nah. What? Yup, the lower teeth looks weird. Now, that is basically if you put rush and then put the front teeth up here without turning it upside down. Like you draw a rush and you turn it upside down. You become the upside down rush. Right.
We know what the next field further
You don't know.
but these rush nothing's a big beam that is supporting the reticle as functionality behind. To a person may seem a little confusing to you, so let me explain the rundown of its appearance.
Okay.
Given how this rush variant's whole gimmick is to attack from the front,
A120.
kind of the inverse of how normal rush.
The mind's for
I
two.
thought a good way to reflect that is by making
The
its
mind's
face
rush,
upside down.
really.
So instead of the eyes being on top of the mouth, like how they normally are, they are actually under it.
Oh,
That's why the teeth are located on what would be its forehead.
bruh.
As for its skin color, given how the entity is meant to be a more mild variation of Rush, I felt it would be fitting if its color resembled closely to that of Rush's. With
Okay.
changes such as a more yellow tint.
Yeah, like, wait, why does this picture not look like yellow? And just because of that, I'm gonna scroll through how many grays can I find. I'm not gonna talk more about that.
Just to reiterate, this is merely just a concept for what the entity's design could look like.
Okay.
As we don't know what its actual appearance is currently.
Then you said you know. You said you know what the. You said you know what the next entity is. What the next variant of Lassie. I know this is probably a quote unquote placeholder, but seriously, what the actual. You said you know. Everyone thinks that when you know everything. L-Splash revealed you the design, the function, whatever. But you clearly did not. You did not. Okay? You did not know everything. Okay? Okay.
Face, as I feel it fits very well with its defining mechanic. So, if the official design for this creature hasn't already been created, maybe
Okay.
something like that can be incorporated
Okay.
into it. And
Then you said you know.
moving on from its
Absolute
appearance,
clickbait.
about functionality. As we
Absolute trash clickbait, bro. Oh my god.
have discussed, this rush variation only has one confirmed new functionality.
Yes?
To attack from the front rather than behind.
Well, is L-Splash gonna add it though? Is L-Splash gonna add it though? It's only a possibility. You're not sure if it's gonna be added.
And because of this, I've decided to name it Rear Steer.
Rear steer. Its name is Rear Steer. That is an absolute joke of an entity name, bro. That is an absolute joke of an entity name. But still, I'm gonna use it because why not? Why not, bro? I mean, A name is a name. And yes, these are four entities that I've drawn earlier. Like in the previous video. Like the previous two videos. Like this one. Wait, I remember now. It's not supposed to be stealthy, but it's just stealth. Maybe I just don't remember the name fully. And even though I'm supposed to know it fully, but I just become dumb at that time. Anyway, just gonna I'm just gonna make a new file. Clear the entire drawing. Okay. So let's see. Now I'm not going exactly through order here. Blind but deadly.
Showing me some of their entity concepts for doors.
Okay.
And one in particular caught my eye. It was a variation of Rush that had a unique property.
You drew it! Wait, seriously, you drew it on a paper! You drew it on the paper! Damn! You drew it on the paper! Damn! Damn, bro! You don't gotta do that, but damn, bro! Damn!
Right on its sense of hearing.
It looks like ears.
About it, I instantly fell in love with the concept.
Fell in love. Cheddar balls. Cheddar balls, what? Also, what's your name, Cheddar Balls again? I know you're Cheddar, but don't call yourself Balls, like anymore, bro.
So, in this video, I'll be showcasing
Cheddar Ball.
FrontSides Rush variation.
Am I milking this guy? No, not at all. Alright.
By the name of Harp. As
Okay.
well as the changes I made to it, which
Okay.
I think make it more interesting.
Okay.
So, with all of that being said, let's begin. Alright. So, Harp physically is a brown-colored variant of Rush with a large set of razor-sharp teeth, which are actually inspired by Eyes' old, unused teeth.
Bruh.
The most notable feature about their design, though, is definitely their face.
Yeah, like
which is
their
completely
forehead.
devoid of eyes, unlike the other Rush variants in the game.
Yeah.
This means that Hark is completely blind,
Cool.
just like Figure, and instead relies
Well, then if he's blind, then how is he supposed to go through rooms? How is he supposed to go through rooms without touching a wall and breaking his face in half because it's sheer speed?
of hearing. The design even reflects this character trait, as in the place of eyes, their face features a giant ear in the center.
Oh wow, so it only has a one ear. Get out! It only has one ear. Wow. Pretty nice for an entity that looks dumb. Alright, I'm done with this. Alright, so that's enough. Let's see.
Now, for making the in-game model, I essentially just changed values in Rush's model to make them look like Hark's appearance. Then, for the particles, I gave them a modified version of Blitz's background fog stuff,
Bruh.
as well as a modified version of Eyes' spikes, which come out of the sides of the entity's mouth. But who cares about what Hark looks like? We all know FrontSides did an amazing job designing their appearance. How does Hark actually function? Well, much like the name Hark
Don't know.
suggests, which means to listen in case you didn't know,
Okay.
as well as what I've been hinting out for a while now, they would use their auditory senses to hunt down players. Now, both me and FrontSides have different ideas for how the entity should function.
Okay.
So, seeing how FrontSides technically made this concept and I just kind of brought it to life, I think it's only fair to go through both of our ideas.
Yep.
Essentially, when Hark spawns, they make almost no sound. Maybe a light hissing noise or even nothing at all. Remember, this entity sound. Maybe a light hissing noise or even nothing at all. Remember, this entity lives through its ears. If it made a loud, obnoxious noise like a rush or ambush, it couldn't be able to track its prey.
Okay.
Now, besides this, the way FrontSides thinks the entity should work is when they do spawn, players would be physically prevented from hiding in lockers.
Huh?
And in order to actually avoid the entity as it passes through, they need to be as quiet as possible so they aren't detected, like Hark's incredible hearing.
Okay.
And that means players must completely stop all inputs. Now, I for one think this is a good starting point for determining Hark's functionality, but I definitely think some aspects of it could be removed and enhanced. For one, coding in the mechanic for the entity to physically stop players from hiding in closets seems a little difficult and unnecessary. And just halting all inputs to avoid Hark seems too similar to a 90s functionality.
Bruh.
So, I think it's time we give these ideas a little bit of the cheddar balls treatment and spice them up.
Cheddar balls
As
treatment.
I've reiterated multiple times, Hark is completely blind, yet uses their hearing to hunt. They're just like Figure in that sense.
Lol.
So instead of outright preventing players from hiding in lockers or closets, I think Hark instead should automatically open up closets and kill players who attempt to hide in them. Think about it. Opening a locker makes a loud noise.
Yes.
The Hark would definitely be able to hear that and track your location from that auditory information.
Yep.
I just feel like this is a much better workaround to turn hiding against players when Hark is present instead of just outright preventing hiding. Additionally, something I'd also like to add is that I think Hark would function like A120, where instead of just going through rooms in a set path, they would actually travel to the location of your player character before leaving. This way, players in traditional safe spots still have to avoid them, so they are not safe.
Yep.
So, with all of that being said, how would I change the method of avoiding this entity? As FrontSide has stated, players would need to stop moving in order to not generate any noise for the entity to hear, thus allowing them to pass by without detecting a player. And although I feel this perfectly captures the gimmick of Hark, I definitely think it could be enhanced.
Okay.
Now, if you've seen my previous video over rush variation,
Yeah.
you know an entity concept I created mimic the sound of another entity to trick players.
Yes, I know that.
As the traditional method of hiding from the mimicked entity had been compromised and rigged with a threat.
Bruh.
I think the same concept could be applied to Hark, where they try to get players to move and make a sound by mimicking the auditory information of other entities.
Bruh.
With slight variations,
Okay.
so players can still detect real and fake audio cues with experience.
Okay.
For example, what if when Hark spawns, they'd have the chance of playing Screech's psst sound,
Bruh.
which would trick players into moving to check for their non-existent Screech, which gives away their location to Hark. Or what if they play Ambush's audio cue to cause players to get into a locker, which generates noise and results in Hark locating and hunting said players. I definitely think a feature like this could differentiate the entity from A90, and I'm all for that.
Well, now that's a little unfair. Because despite you saying being cute, the little changes in the audio cue, players now act on instinct with their because what I mean by instinct, because if they hear rush, they hide. If they hear ambush, they hide. If they hear screech, they look around. I mean, you can physically cannot just stand still and take damage from screech. Like, no. Like at that point, if Hark spawns, like you have no time because Hark's gonna know when you're trying to hide in a traditional safe spot, aka plain sight. In plain sight.
Overview, Hark is a terrifying Doors rush variation entity concept.
Now here, you should make the audio tone like more distinct from the other entities so that even new players can know, even normal players can notice the goddamn difference. Like, Would you like to die 10 billion times out of this entity, going from 1 death to 305 deaths? Well, so yeah, you ain't gonna survive this entity unless you are pro. You should make this a little different, you know? Experience, get out. Like, throw that out of the window.
Much like Figure, is completely blind, yet can still track down players with their sense of hearing. This means that although players don't have to hide in lockers or
Okay.
from the entity as they won't be seen, in fact, this should actually be
Still kind of
avoided,
blurry
as
over
the
here.
sound from opening a locker would give away their location, but instead players must be as silent as a mouse so Harp doesn't hear them and pinpoint their location.
A90.
This can prove
I'm
to be
shaking my
quite a
screen so that
challenge, though,
it doesn't
as
feel
Harp
blurry.
is of playing certain audio cues which may trick players into moving, such as Screech's psst sound.
Nuh-uh.
Now, this, of course, is
Nuh-uh.
a concept made by a friend of mine, so I doubt
Wait, a
anyone
friend,
has
not a
watched
fan?
into the
Okay.
game. However, I do think it would be very cool if Rush
Nyeh.
variants unique concepts, such as ones displayed in Park, were added if the developers do decide to add Rush variations.
Okay.
As adding just faster and slower rushes can be boring.
Yeah. Fast the Blue Rush, Flash.
Big thanks to FrontSides for creating this concept.
Cheddar balls with the teddy bear, and who is this? I don't care anyway. Alright, now that I've finished this and this, I'm gonna put literally on fire entity into the game.
This is Grill.
Grill.
This Rush variant
What is that name?
fiery pits of the underworld.
The fiery pizza the other. Shut the heck up, broski. Shut the heck up. You are not from the underworlds. To me, I'd say nuh-uh. I'm gonna make that hard, like yeah, waiting on X9, by the way. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, you can see the word hard. 8.7. Wait, no, literally 9. Bro, this is too big. Okay, there you go. Okay. Hey, yeah. What you looking at? Microsoft. Wait, no. Roblox Studio. Bro, I know that. Okay. Next up, I'm gonna draw a grill.
So you'll probably know
Ah!
outdoors is considered
Bro, what is that?
variants to the game.
What is that?
That function like
Hell no.
that type of deal. And I've decided to toss my hat into the ring yet again
Bruh.
to create another flaming concept for what one could potentially look and function like. This one is actually pretty cool, as instead of being completely
I got it. No teeth. Yippee. You're cooked. Like this. Boom, bam, bop. Perfect. Now let's see what it does. Wait, hang on. Hang on. I didn't. Okay, there you go.
This is Grill.
A grill.
This
Wait,
Russian
what?
variant concept straight from the fiery pits of the underworld.
Get
As you'll
out.
probably know by now, Doors is considering adding more Rush variants to the game. Entities that function like Ambush and Blitz, that type of deal. And I've decided to
Okay.
toss my hat into the ring yet again and create another flaming concept for what one
Good joke right there. Get it? Because it's fire damp.
could potentially look and function like.
Okay, cool.
This one is actually pretty cool. As
Yes.
Instead of being completely original, it's actually
Where's the lower teeth?
That being fire damp.
Okay.
You know, the thing that explodes if you use a lighter in its presence.
What about the
Now,
candle?
to more
Doors is a
how-
bug. I literally lit up a candle. It does not explode on fire in the fire damp rooms. Not the guiding light candle, but rather the normal candle. Where you use a lighter to light it up. How it's not burning? How it's not? Why does it not explode me, bro?
All that explosion stuff ties into this entity later.
Cool.
But just as a quick rundown, in this video, I'll be explaining the appearance and functionalities of this new entity
Okay,
concept.
that's very nice.
So, with all of that being said, let's begin.
Died a hall. Oh,
Oh
my god,
So
bro.
this
There's so
is
much.
They are a variant of Rush that is
Mhm.
heavily intertwined with the concept of fire damp gas,
Mm-hmm.
which is a dangerous substance periodically found throughout the
We
mines.
know, but how does it
If
appear
players
though?
stay in it for
If
too
you
long,
if you literally open the door, this thingy shouldn't. But this door opening thingy shouldn't really stay there, but rather the whole thing should leak out a little, but not enough to make the door make you suffocate when you go near the door without entering the room. So yeah.
and most notably, completely explodes anyone who ignites a lighter in its presence.
Yum.
This connection
Bomb.
is heavily referenced in Grill's design.
Okay.
And although at first it may seem a little confusing,
Mhm.
I'm going to explain it to you, so hopefully that
okay.
clears up any confusion.
Okay.
Grill's name and rough design were created by a friend of mine by the name
Okay.
of FrontSides, a person who has been reoccurring.
Oh,
with
wow.
the FrontSides
3 times already.
other
Get out.
variation concepts. In fact, their head shape is actually inspired by some strange unnamed thingy FrontSides saw in a car.
These are the 2 lights. This is the front of the car. And I don't know what the heck is down here. Maybe there's 2 lights. That's my imagination,
This is
really.
unrelated, but if anyone knows the name of this car part, let me know in the comments.
Okay.
Anyways, the entity's face quite obviously is missing a lower set of teeth.
Bruh.
Yet their razor-sharp upper teeth more
Armageddon.
appropriate with their horrifying nature.
Bruh.
They have a more pink and red skin tone too to somewhat mimic the appearance of fire damp. But
Oof.
the real connection to the dangerous gas is represented via their particle effects.
Mm.
Many Rush variants, such as Blitz and even just default Rush, have a
Bruh.
thick misty fog surrounding their face.
Wow.
Grill is no exception to that. However, what's unique is that this fog is actually fire damp gas.
Wow.
Wherever the entity goes, a large cloud of fire damp gas follows. And not only that, but jets of the toxic chemical shoot out of their entire body.
Damn.
So nowhere is safe from their gaseous influence.
Wow.
This will actually
Get
play into their
out.
functionality, but more on that a little
Mhm.
later. Now, just fire damp gas itself is pretty boring.
Yeah.
So we need to spice it up by turning up the heat.
Mhm.
And that is exactly what I've done.
Okay.
Not only does Grill have fire damp gas, but some of it is even ignited on fire.
Okay.
One of the
Damn.
most well-known features of this substance is that it's
Lighter.
very flammable, and that is represented by how the entity is quite literally immersed in flames. They look like they're straight from the underworld, so encountering them should be quite terrifying. Now, we
Okay.
all know FrontSides did an amazing job designing this entity, and I did pretty good turning its heat up. How
Okay.
will they actually function?
Alright.
Well, because Grill is so heavily intertwined with fire damp, their mechanics should be as well. Here's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking.
Hmm?
Essentially, throughout the mines or when players play the hotel with fire damp spawning modifiers enabled,
Mhm.
Grill would be able to spawn. Yet, unlike most Rush variants who can spawn pretty much anywhere, Grill will only be able to appear in fire damp.
Of course.
Right, sometimes when you enter a fire damp room,
Yeah.
you can feel the ground shake and see the lights flicker.
Well, that does not really happen with most of the entities in the mines, because sometimes fire damp spawns and ambush and rush didn't really appear yet. So it'll keep, but it may if you do it in the hotel and put it, dealt it or smelt it. So it'll be quite confusing.
This not only makes their appearance for their environment
Yep.
fit, but it also makes fire dam rooms a little more challenging.
Okay, no one
since
cares.
They can pretty easily be neutralized just by quickly walking through them.
Yummers.
Now, much like with most rush variants, you initially survive this one by passing via hiding
By
in a
passing,
locker.
hiding a
But
locker.
the challenge comes after they pass.
Okay.
You see, since Grill's body is expelling fire damp everywhere, it's
Okay.
only natural the gas will be present sort of as a byproduct of their appearance.
Byproduct.
So that is
Okay.
exactly what happens when they pass by.
Huh?
When Grill spawns, players will be unable to move onto the next
Okay, you're cooked.
back into the previous
Yep,
room.
you're cooked.
Think of it kind of like how Halt works, where once the room spawning grill is opened, all players would be teleported to it.
Yep, you're
and they would
cooked.
be unable to progress or retreat.
No, seriously, that's
This
basically
actually is because the
the
entity's
person.
mechanic actually affects the following rooms.
Okay.
And since they only spawn in fire damp rooms to prevent players from suffocating,
Mhm.
the entity would have to move rather quickly.
Yeah.
Anyways, once you hide from Grill and get out of your closet or locker
Yeah.
or whatever hiding place you were in,
Okay.
the next 3 to 5 rooms will all be flooded with fire damp.
3 to 5 rooms. 3 to 5 rooms, bro. Are you crazy? 3 to 4 rooms, okay? If it's 5 rooms, you're definitely cooked. Because what if the next room is a seat chase? The next rooms are seat chase, then you have to stuck in the goddamn cutscene for hours on end. That's a death sentence. And for the puzzles, well, developers already fixed the bug, so yeah.
When this entity comes and goes, you'll be put into a race against the clock.
Exactly.
The
I knew it, bro.
Before dying of suffocation to the fire damp gas. Going back to the Halt analogy, when the entity spawns, the previous room would be permanently locked.
Okay.
So there would be no way of cheesing this race against suffocation to get some
Cheese.
extra time of fresh air.
Cheese, cheddar
You
ball.
have to be quick in order to survive.
Mhm.
Now, of course, with a mechanic this complex, there would have to be some balancing changes.
Yeah.
So let me go through those. For one,
Mhm.
none of the fire damp rooms following Girl's arrival can have any sort of puzzle.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you remember this, but when Floor 2 first released, there was actually a bug where players could be locked into fire damp generator puzzle rooms after escaping Halt.
Yes.
And since it's impossible to go back to Halt's room after escaping it
Yep.
as the door locks behind you, when this happened, it would automatically be a death sentence.
Yep. That would be. That means that the door's locked and you cannot go behind to avoid getting breathing in fire damp gas, and you have to sort of solve a puzzle in the fire damp room with no escape. So basically, you're cooked. No, literally, you're grilled. Get it?
There physically isn't enough time to complete the generator puzzle before suffocating.
Yeah.
So, to prevent a situation like this, all the following fire damp rooms would be easily traversable and
Yes.
would require players to stop and do some sort of task.
Yeah. Okay.
Additionally, as I've said, since Grill spawns in a fire damp room, they'd have to be rather quick, as players need time to not only stay alive in that room, but the next ones that follow, as all of them will contain the deadly fire damp gas.
Okay.
Other than those two considerations, though, I don't feel like there would be any other issues with this entity.
Oh, are you sure that there are no consequences?
Fire damp gas itself.
Are you sure? Okay. So are you sure that there will be no issues beyond this entity? 3 to 5 rooms. And I say 3 to 4 rooms is okay. But it must not spawn 3 to 4, 5 rooms as you said before the sea chase. Because if the next room is a sea chase, I mean like the start of the sea chase, whilst it being the fire damp room, you have to go through a cutscene that would surely not that will surely kill you because you won't have enough time to react to the cutscene. As there's literally 2 to 4 rooms after before that makes you suffocate. I mean, so basically you're putting yourself in a death sentence if you make it spawn 3 to 5 rooms earlier. So yeah, please do not, bro. Please do not. You'll be cooking the players eventually.
For the next rooms before dying of suffocation to the fire damp gas. Going back to the halt analogy, when the entity spawns, the previous room would be permanently locked.
Okay.
So there would be no way of cheesing this race against suffocation to get some extra
That
time.
is still the same
Gotta be
clip
quick in
behind
order
there.
to survive.
Okay.
Now, of course, with a mechanic this complex, there would have to be some balancing.
Wait, I already have do this.
Like this, all the following fire dam groups would be.
Yeah, I've already watched this.
So, to summarize what Grill does in a neat and ordered manner,
Yeah.
in some fire dam groups, players have the chance
Okay.
of encountering the new rush entity concept by the name.
Summary? I don't need no summary. I can do that for you. So, this is the only sponsored fire dam rooms. The lights flicker. It goes extremely, not extremely, but it goes fast after the light flickers. So you better hide immediately. The previous room will disappear immediately as all players will be teleported to the fire jam room, and that will be probably enough closets for everyone, of course. And the door that you just came through, the door like the previous room door will be locked permanently so that the players cannot go through, and the players would not be would not be able to open the next door either, but only in the period of time where the entity passes. After that, you will only have a limited oxygen, aka time, to traverse from 3 to 5 rooms ahead that are all filled with fire damp, with fire damp gas. There are some restrictions to this though. 1. The fire damp rooms cannot have a generator puzzle or anything that will make you halt your progress and to do some tasks that, yeah, without taking down the time. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, seriously, that's it. So yeah, bye.